What's up, y'all? Welcome to number 2. For this episode, we're gonna talk about emergency savings accounts, but even though they're really great. We're gonna talk about debt, and we're gonna talk just a little bit about credit. If you haven't watched the last video, please do. It's very helpful. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do, link below. And also, you can go ahead and give a little thumbs up, like to my channel. Here we go. Emergency savings accounts. They're like the least sexy thing ever, at least in name. And they're kind of sexy in actuality because they really just mean that you've got your own back. The reason that I didn't talk about these last time is because I just wanted to give some quick things for people to take action and start to really feel empowered and start to be able to watch their money grow. Most financial experts would say this is the first thing that you have to do. I'm switching things up a little bit. But because you watched the last episode, you already have a high yield savings account set up. So it's great. So you're totally poised to start your emergency savings account. You're gonna wanna have 3 to 6 months of necessary essential expenses in your account. Rent, utilities, gas, whatever your basic needs are. And you might be like, oh my God, 6 months of my essential needs is a ton of money. How am I gonna come up with that? And then get on to things like investing and paying off debt, et cetera, et cetera. We're gonna make a little plan for you that's really easy to follow. The idea is if you lost your job tomorrow, you would have a little bit of breathing room. You wouldn't have to freak out. You wouldn't have to go into debt. You wouldn't have to ask somebody for money. You would just you could go camping if you want. You can just take a minute and you're gonna be okay, and you have provided yourself enough time to go find another job without totally stressing about it. It's taking care of yourself. It actually is sexy in that way. We're all so much sexier when we're relaxed and happy. So you can think of your emergency savings account as future sexy you, okay? Maybe we'll just rename it future sexy you. Future sexy you. Get it? Future sexy you. Future sexy. So that's emergency savings. It's pretty straightforward, right? You just want to start having one. Your goal is what we talked about, and you're just pumping little bits of money into that account every month. You're setting up an auto draft that comes out of your bank account into your future sexy you, and everybody's happy. Debt. Let's talk a little bit about debt. You're probably in debt. Basically, all of America is. So congrats on researching money and ways to get out of it. Just like every tool, it can be really helpful and it can also be really harmful. The way to get out of debt is, yes, to start paying it off, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick the highest interest rate debt that we have first. This will probably be a credit card, some form of consumer debt. Those types of debt have somewhere between 13 and 30% interest. It's really massive. When you go to the money gym or go on your money date, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's because you didn't watch the last video, and now you have to because you don't know. You'll be looking at all of your debt, and then you will, in descending order, largest to smallest, you will organize it so that you can see who it is, how much your minimum payment is, what the annual percentage rate is, the interest rate that you are paying. And that's the one you're gonna tackle first because that is the one that is working the most against you. Just for a little visual breakdown, because I know we all know all of this, but it's nice to visualize it so that it's really at the front of your mind. If you have $100 and you have $100 in a high yield savings account that's giving you 5%, this is the working for you camp. If you have $100 in credit card debt and that debt is earning 23% interest, that's money that is growing against you. So this is what we want to take care of first, because it doesn't matter how much money we put in here, this is still dragging us down. So there's sort of a little conundrum that comes up here. Okay, well, I'm someone that doesn't make a ton of money, so you want me to open an HSA account. Watch the last video. I open a high yield savings account, pay off my debt. I only have $20 extra a month. Great. So here's what we're gonna do. If you qualify for the HSA account, I would say open it, and you don't have to put very much money in it. You would just put whatever the minimum required is, and it might not be much, it might be $10, right? So that is sitting there waiting for you when you are ready. But really the account we need to be focusing on is your high yield savings. When there's money in there, it can go to your medical expenses. It doesn't get all the tax benefits and stuff like the HSA account will, but if we are just like straight up triaging, that is the account that you need to be putting money in, because it's an umbrella account and it will help you through any emergency situation, aka future sexy you. Paying off the high interest debt is very important. And so we are going to do balance transfers to new credit cards that have 0% interest. This needs to be after you have already gone to the money gym a couple of times and you're like, okay, all right, I've got the hang of it. Like, I am doing this. I know where my money is. I know how much interest I'm earning and losing. And I'm confident and like I'm getting a handle on all of this. Opening new lines of credit can take a little while. It's an administrative task, right? So you need to like be ready to be on it and to be consistent with it and to revisit it and make sure it got done, that you've answered all of the questions you need to answer, etc. This step I don't recommend until you're like really getting comfortable and you're really doing this money thing. We're just going to assume that you are, because you're watching this, right? You are going to transfer all of your existing cards into new zero interest cards. We're going to assume that those are going to give you 1 year of zero interest for your debt. During that year, you are going to be putting your money into your high yield savings account. You're just pumping it. So if you have $20 extra a month, you're putting $20 a month in there. When someone asks you to watch their dog all weekend and you make $100, that is going into your high yield savings account, right? You are pumping future sexy you. Now, you're gonna be so on top of it and know the date that these credit cards are going to start accruing interest again, and you are going to stop putting money into your high yield savings, and you are going to start tackling the highest interest debt. And you're just going to pound it out, and then the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one. And it's going to go so much faster than you ever thought possible, because again, you're going to get a babysitting gig and you're going to put that money towards it, and you're going to have a birthday and you're going to ask for $100 and you're going to put that towards this, right? So this like starts to really gain momentum. It's very exciting. Isn't it exciting? I think it's exciting. Oh boy. Meanwhile, with our credit cards, we are only using our credit cards when we can actually pay off the thing that we are buying in that moment. So the goal for everyone, including myself, is to spend on credit and then pay it off more than one time a month. Once a month is great, but if you can actually pay it off 2 or 3 times a month, early payoff helps with your credit score. So you're using your credit card and you're paying it off right away. The only reason that you're doing this is to build your credit, which is great. Love building credit. And because in the long run, it actually can save you some money and it can be helpful. Lots of credit cards have perks. They have like travel perks, or like you can earn cash back at certain grocery stores, or when you're buying gas, whatever. So once you become savvy with all of this, you'll be like, oh yeah, this is an awesome tool. We're going on a trip this holiday season. I'm gonna book the hotel where I get a discount because I have this credit card. So it's a little intermediary step that can hook you up, but we are not trying to get dependent on this. We are in a relationship. We're stewarding, we're getting something in return, we're treating it well, we are being treated well. Treat your credit well, treat it with respect. Same thing for your debt. In the upcoming episodes, we're going to start doing a lot more work that is harder to see. You can't like just go online and make an account, but it's really the most important work, because it doesn't matter how many high yield savings accounts or how many retirement accounts you have. If you're all wonky in here and you're still pissed at money, you're not gonna build wealth. So that's what's next. And then we're gonna follow up with me and see how my process is going in this whole crazy adventure. We're on an adventure.